Like, there's been a couple of times where with Cristoforo, I'm like, oh, I want to like, can I go a little like manic?
Welcome to this episode of Voiced By, which is an interview series where I, a voice actor, interview other voice actors. And today I am incredibly excited to have Hyoie O'Grady with me, who voices not one, but two of probably your favorite characters.
Welcome. A pleasure to see you again.
Thank you so much for joining us today. You are very, very hotly requested by the viewers. How are you feeling today?
I'm good. Yeah. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here. I appreciate all the
Yes,
requests. So I'm excited to
we
talk
made
and
it happen. You manifested him.
no, it's very good to be here. Thank you.
To briefly just clue you in on the format of this show, there are sort of four segments that we're going to go through. First, we're just going to have some questions about you and your work and your background, just to break the ice. And then we go into a kind of silly segment that I call like lore crafting, where I will ask you some theoretical questions about your characters, and we'll try and fill in those gaps. Absolutely not canon, guys, just for fun. And then we will talk a bit about your range, all the other things you can do that maybe we don't know about yet. And finally, we'll talk a bit about community interaction and, of course, memes, because Wuthering Waves is very well known for its memes.
Sounds good.
To start us off, could you just remind us, where might we know your voice from?
So you may have heard me in Wuthering Waves. I voice Cristoforo.
Pathetic as he was, in his final moments, he outran his fate.
And Brant.
There's no fun in watching from here. Let's get ourselves front row seats.
Toil and Trouble and Dragon Quest.
Seems things have gotten a little dicey.
The Dark Prince. Trying to think. I've done a bunch of stuff for like The Division, Dying Light. Yeah, I suppose that's good.
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty good start. I
Those
mean,
things, yeah.
Wuthering Waves alone is pretty unusual in the fact that you're actually playing two major characters, but we'll come back to that. I know that a lot of people ask about this, so I think let's set the record straight once and for all. How do we pronounce your name correctly?
Yes. Okay. Are you ready? This is it. This is the definitive
Okay, yes.
pronunciation guide. So it's pronounced Hyoie, and it's the sound that the thing that trips people up is the beginning, right? So it's like Hugh, like Huey, and that HY sound, that Hya, but instead of a Hugh, it's a Hyo. Hyoie. Hyoie. So that's how you say my name, Hyoie O'Grady. That's me.
Now you know, guys. Now you know. So you don't just work in voice acting. People might know that you also do screen work. You are an Outlander, which I think will delight your fans. And you're also very well known, certainly in the UK, for doing theatre. You were on the West End. You did Les Mis, which is pretty big.
Yeah, I did. I started in musical theater. So I did Les Mis from 2017 to 18. It was my first job.
Amazing. It's a pretty
Trained,
good first gig.
It was. It was kind of ridiculous. I super grateful, but no, trained in musical theater, and I had my eye on that role for a long time. The entire time I was training, basically.
Perfect.
Sort of just keeping it in mind. While I was doing Les Mis, actually, my first voiceover job came up.
Oh,
which
okay.
was The Division. Funny I mentioned it earlier, but The Division 2. I had to do a bunch of like NPC characters, and like it was all sort of the shouts and the grenade and all this kind of stuff. And I did that while I was doing Les Mis, so huge mistake because I was like, difficult saying. But yeah, that's kind of the little summary. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. Do you find that working across pretty much every, I suppose, discipline of acting, and also, I suppose, being a trained singer, does that help your voice work? Do you feel like it all builds on each other?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's kind of interesting because they're very different disciplines. I mean, there are some things which are transferable skills. Some things are able to, directly apply to other things, but they are very different. And I think you can train all you want, and I did a lot of training, but like, I sometimes say like I learned to sing, or at least maintain the singing while I was doing 8 shows a week, and I learned really how to be a good voice actor by doing voice acting, and same with screen, like how to really understand that medium while I was doing it, So they are different, but I think the primary sort of skill that I think transfers is the storytelling. So the element of actually understanding the medium and applying the different, doing it in the right way.
Yeah.
But then simultaneously, it's the underlying thing is always the story. What is the what is the effect I'm trying to produce? What am I trying to make the audience feel? What am I trying to convey? You know.
So in terms of your voice acting, do you feel like there's been a project or a character so far that you felt kind of shifted the trajectory of your voiceover work? You know, do you feel like there's something that, okay, now that kind of put you in a different space to where you were before?
Yeah, honestly, Wuthering Waves.
Yeah,
I mean,
same.
it's it's the fandom are really incredible, and just the amount of love that I received for Brant and then also Cristoforo. It definitely just I think I don't know, just I think just how active it was. I mean, a lot of things they come and they go, and you can sort of see people's perception of it and stuff. But because people are very involved in the community, it feels very like I feel like I'm being watched, but in a good way. You know what I mean? I'm like, whoa, people that kind of care about what I do, which is really nice. I mean, us being actors, it's like with a community of people who play video game, you know, to have that sort of feedback and that loop, it kind of closes the loop of acting because you're not going to sit in your room alone and be like, well, I'm pretending to be like, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
It's just
I mean,
like,
maybe you do, but
maybe you do, but then, you know, maybe you should see someone about that. But like, but no, I'm joking. But you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
it's nice. I think Wuthering Waves has been a really nice. It's been a bit of a game changer for me in the voiceover
Yeah.
world. So yeah.
Speaking of Brant and Cristoforo, I've also seen a bit of debate about whether you are English, whether you are American, because you're too good at both accents, and people cannot believe that you are the same voice actor for both of these. So, can you tell us, you know, are you native in both, or are you just very good at accents, or what's going on?
Well, okay. So I was born in the United States. So I grew up for my early part of my life in the United States, but my mom is English.
Oh, okay.
So my father is American and my mom's English, and I kind of flip-flopped back and forth.
Very good.
And I spent a lot of time in England, so I have I think, a pretty good ear for the English accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is my speaking voice. It's sort of a soft American, I suppose. I don't know, transatlantic, who knows? But it's like something like this, you know. It's like that's the scoop. But I appreciate the compliment. Thank you.
So again, to keep it on the sort of multi-rolling aspect, it's not unusual to play, say, several minor NPCs in a game, but you are, as far as I know, the only cast member in Wuthering Waves who plays two major characters who are, as far as I know, unrelated. So it's not like my situation where the two characters are definitely related. Did you how was the audition process for going in for these? Was it just a happy coincidence that you had both accents, or were they always going to have different accents?
Well, it's funny. The audition process is a lot of things happen. So I first did I did a bunch of NPCs prior to getting Brant and Cristoforo, and it was like, so I did a lot of like little bits and I can't even really remember what they were now. It's a long time ago, but so I was kind of in and out for little bits and bobs, and then I did the like art, the art commissioner guy who's like in the trailer for
Yes.
this is really, I'm gonna say the name wrong, but
yeah, I know.
Jeji.
I think the first draft was better.
It was received quite well. I think people liked that performance, and I think Kuro also liked what I did, and because you have these quite theatrical characters who were coming in, I think they thought of me to bring me in to audition for those.
That makes sense.
And I think I actually voiced Cristoforo first.
Right. Okay.
So I did Cristoforo, and obviously when you first see him, he's like gentler. He's not as he doesn't show so much of the darker side, because there's the reveal. It was a gentle sort of English. I just made sense. I was looking at the character, and and I think because I had done the other English accent for the commissioner, I was like, oh yeah, do an English accent. They wanted me to do an English accent, and then so I did that, but it was just a little bit. It was just the start, and then I had this audition come through for Brant. And funnily enough, my initial audition, because of where Cristoforo was, which was sort of, wait a moment, traveler. He was a little bit more sort of here, and then later on he became down, and this he kind of changed with his dark side. But I was like, oh, okay, I've got this Brant character, and he was like a pirate and stuff, and I was like, maybe I'll do something lower, a little bit sort of, because Cristoforo at that time in his pre-reveal stage was kind of a little bit lighter and like thinner in the folds, so the folds were a bit more breath coming through and this sort of thing. And I was like, okay, maybe Brant can be more like heavier on the folds, like Brant's the name. And I did this kind of whole thing, which was much more, a little older, I think, an older guy. And I did the audition. And I didn't hear anything for a while. I did some more Cristoforo. And then I came in and they were, oh, we want you to do Brant. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I was at home and I was like practicing the voice. And I was doing this low kind of like this lower thick fold thing, less breathy, And I got in and they were like, oh, can we like make him younger? Can we have him like higher? Can we have him more kind of, lighter? And they had some ref from I can't remember, I think it might have been the Japanese or something.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, this is kind of, we like this. And I was like, okay. And so I brought it up and then, but no, I mean, I felt very privileged and very grateful, very honored. I was like, oh, okay, sure. Like I'll do another character. And yeah, so I did all of Brant's stuff and everything, and then Cristoforo got bigger, and then he became more evil, and like I had to sort of balance the two, and try and keep them in different places.
Oh, that's a great challenge, I guess, to have characters who, on one hand, they have similar traits, as you say, but they're just also so polar opposite, right, in their, I suppose, disposition. And what is driving them, I assume. Obviously, we don't know all about Cristoforo's motivations yet, but I feel like they are characters who on the page could seem similar, but then are incredibly different. I wonder, did you have any actual sessions? Were there any bits of the story where they were actually, because I'm trying to think how much they really interacted. Like, did you have sessions where you have to record for both characters in the same session?
I think generally they were kept apart, but I think I had one or two sessions where we would pick up like the last half hour or the last hour, be like, okay, we just got some Cristoforo stuff to do, but I don't think they ever, I think there was only one instance maybe where they were very close to each other speaking.
Right. Okay.
I don't know. It would be kind of interesting. It would be an interesting thing to have a scene where it was the two of them.
Yeah, it was the two of them talking.
Have to try it, talking to each other. That'd be fun to do.
I've had to do that a few times for my character, which was interesting.
Yeah.
So, as you said, in the beginning of 2.0, Cristoforo has a smaller role. He seems like he's just a cool NPC who gives you some context, gives you a few quests, and Brant obviously is introduced as a resonator. So it kind of, I imagine that at the beginning you had a lot of attention about Brant. Like people would comment on Brant or reach out to you about that and say, we love Brant. But now, do you feel like it's starting to shift towards more attention on Cristoforo as his role becomes bigger?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's it's interesting because when you're voicing a hero or a good guy, you really want to be received well and liked, and you want your performance to be, captivating. You want people to like it, and you want to be liked. You want the character to be liked. But that kind of totally flips on its head when you're playing Cristoforo. It's like, I was like, I'm glad people hate me. You know what I mean?
That's a testament to the good performance.
That's good, right? Because like you don't want to, because if you read a comment, it's like, oh, Brant's so annoying. You're like, not that I've ever read a comment like that, thankfully, but then you'd be like, oh man, I failed. But if you read that exact same comment, like Cristoforo, I just want to punch him in his stupid face. It's like, yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's quite a funny thing, because it's like the content of the comments that you're sort of, because you look, right? You want to see what people think and that kind of stuff. So I think, to be fair, people still contact me about Brant. I guess more to sort of pray, like to say something nice. They'll say, oh, I loved you as Brant and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think certainly I have seen people on absolutely opposite sides of it. Like, I think everyone agrees that Cristoforo is an amazing character and everyone is praising your performance, but half the people like, we can't wait for him to get his comeuppance, and the other half is like, I want to marry him. So, you know, you've kind of got both ends of the spectrum there, but I think, again, that's probably also just to be taken as a compliment, right? Like, you have voiced a character in a way that is so compelling that people at the same time absolutely want, you know, to end him, but they also kind of find him really attractive because he's charismatic, right? So, I mean, and I can say off the record that my my sister's favorite character is actually Brant. So,
hey, let's go.
She knows nothing about him because she's not gotten to that point in the game, but when she saw him, she was like, that one. So I know you play a lot of video games, and you've actually played games since like the DOS days, I think you said on another interview, which is relatable. Have you gotten a chance to play the game yet, or have you seen a bit of it?
So I have to be honest, I have not played the game yet. But the only reason is because I'm really keen on doing a stream and a reaction stream.
Oh, okay,
But I've seen a lot of clips. I do watch a lot of the story sections from yourself and also from other YouTubers, and I see the stuff in sort of pre-production when it's being made in the studio and stuff. So I'm like aware of things, but I've not played it because I want to I want to do a stream. I said this before. It's just life gets in the way. But I tried to stream when I was in between moving, and I was on my laptop, and it was a disaster. But the computer is upgraded. I'm gonna do a little poll, or maybe it'll already have happened by now.
Absolutely.
That'd be cool.
Okay, so let's go into like the slightly esoteric lore crafting, where we kind of like think of wild, wacky answers to some crazy questions. But again, to preface, guys, take this with a grain of salt. We're just having fun. We are not speaking for any writers or devs. We are just two silly actors who are having fun, and there are no canonical answers here. Yeah. Oh,
what?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm talking about me. You're very serious.
Oh yeah, no. Silly's right. Go on.
Okay, so again, this is maybe another one of my crazy theories, but when I started playing 2.x and we saw the reveal at the end where Cristoforo and Filova are talking and we realized they're in cahoots, my first thought was, wait, so are all the Fraxidus members just theater kids? As an actual theater kid, do you think it is a coincidence that all the overseers so far seem to have this theatrical or performative component to them? Or is there something to this? Like, is this a crazy theory, or am I onto something?
I think well, there could be.
Yeah.
There could be a sort of it's an interesting idea, right? Because the sort of the people who pull the strings, or the people who are able to manipulate the future or the present, or sort of, you know, that sort of undercurrent, that agential quality to life where like things seem to happen, or like synchronous moments and stuff. There's an element of, there's something sinister to that. Like I feel like it's an interesting contrast to Brant, actually, because Brant's whole thing is like the freedom of choosing, you know, this idea of like you have the will to choose, and then the Fraxidus are like it's almost like they're the people who are guiding your choices. It's not really your choice, you know what I mean? So I tend to look at it as like, because Cristoforo is more of like a director, right? He's a rather than like a performer. He's like the director pulling the strings, making things happen, you know, setting the stage. Whereas the player, or the Shakespearean player, that the actor is like more of Brant's role.
What kind of show would they put on, I suppose, is the question. Would it be something we'd want to see, or would it be something absolutely terrible?
Probably be one of those shows where like it's like all set in an insane asylum or something.
Oh, yeah.
That's something deeply pretentious, you know, something very Cristoforo that like lock you in. They'd lock you in and you wouldn't be allowed to leave to go to the bathroom or something, or you'd be escorted out by something funny.
I can see that. Okay, so the last silly question I have for you is, so the Fraxidus outfits, I have to talk about them because even though they're all dressing in quite distinctly different ways that express their own personal style, everyone is very noticeably wearing red. They are the only characters in this world who wear red for some reason. So, do you think that someone like Cristoforo deliberately dresses very conspicuously? I mean, I know it's Renacita, but like the Plague Doctor mask, like it's a bit of a statement. Is he just trying to look a little bit, flashy?
Yeah, who decided on the dress code? Did they
Right?
get together and they think, that shade's actually you can't sit with us. That shade's
Yeah,
too light.
exactly.
Or
You can't sit with us! My dear
Okay, well, those were actually amazing answers. So thank you so much for going with me on that journey. I think I wanted to go back into talking a little bit about your range now, because obviously we've established that it's great. But you said you voiced other minor NPCs in Wuthering Waves. You were the art commissioner, and you were some other people before that. Are there other minor NPCs or other characters you played in other games that maybe people don't know that you were in?
I mean, I've done there's X. I forgot to mention X from Reverse 1999, which is
Right.
really
Yes.
which
That's a
which
very
I've done.
popular game too.
I did a bunch of for Dying Light 2. I did Anton Novak, which was he was a character. He's in the audio files. He had a whole story where you collect all the audio files and you kind
Gotcha.
of kind of in BioShock where you have this
Yeah.
the things. I'm trying to think what else
Arknights.
Okay, so this is a thing that people really, really like when we do. So I'm not trying to put you on a spot, but would you be up for doing a role swap where you will teach me one of your iconic lines as any character you choose, and I'll do my best, and I will give you one of mine. Would you be down for that?
Sure, yeah, I'll try it.
Okay.
The let's leave some mystery for the next chapter, shall we? In the
What are you two plotting in Renacita?
Oh, dear madam. Let's leave some mystery for the next chapter, shall we?
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. So I guess Fleur de Lis would say, "Dear madam, let's leave some mystery for the next chapter, shall we?"
Hey, let's go. That sounds good. It suits it. It suits it. That's pretty good.
Very
Awesome.
intriguing.
Awesome. Okay, do you want the other second one now? Or
Yes.
do you wanna
Okay. Let's do the brand one, and then
Okay.
I'll give you a line.
Okay, so I think for Brant, there's the ultimate line "Let the flames rise" is a popular
yeah.
one,
Okay.
and maybe you could add a pew pew at the end because he has.
Okay.
His,
Oh, does he have? Does he actually have a?
Yeah, and his battle lines. It's quite funny.
Okay, that would be quite funny. So I'm thinking Cardothea, that sounds like, that reminds me of her puppets. So I think she would say, climax of the show. And I think she would say, let the flames rise. Pew pew.
Nice. Let's go. That was good. Awesome.
I think for you, because you voice two characters, we have to do one of the lines that do both voices, because I feel like otherwise it will be a missed opportunity. So I think it would be really cool to have you say one of her lines. We got to go for true form revealed at last. And I mean, I leave it to you, but I think you should start as Brant and end as Cristoforo just for the memes.
Okay. Let me think. I might have to come off the mic a little bit here.
Okay, yeah, please.
Okay. True form revealed at last.
Ooh. I love it. Kuro, take notes. Make this happen. Okay, to round up that section, do you have a dream role, either a character you'd love to play or just a kind of character that you haven't gotten to play yet that you would really love to do one day?
It's a really good question. I think I've done sort of suave evil characters. I'd quite like to do something which was sort of really unhinged, like in a sort something
Yeah.
something where I could stretch the sort of my voice into contort it into really kind of gross ways. I mean, I say that, and I know that I would have days where I'm like, my poor voice, in the booth. Do you know what I mean?
But it's a good challenge.
There's been a couple of times where with Cristoforo, I'm like, I want to can I go a little manic? I want to and Kuro's like, no. So I'd quite like to play a character that steps into a lot of different territories, maybe something that has a lot of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Something
yeah.
that can stretch up and down and into a lot of places. I think that'll be interesting.
Okay, well, so let's round this up by talking a little bit about the community and all these things. As we've talked about, the Wuthering Waves community is very active. Is there a moment of community interaction or fan interaction that you've had? It doesn't have to be specific to Wuthering Waves, but just in your career as an actor that really stands out to you as a really funny moment or a favorite moment?
It's always very meaningful when your performance has touched somebody in a certain way. Like when people message saying like, "Oh, this really helped me at this moment because I was going through this, and like I loved your character," like this kind of thing. I think that's very meaningful. I mean, it's specific. There've been examples. Uh, like people would sometimes come to Les Mis and be terminally ill or something,
Right.
and because of the content of the show, it's a very uplifting show, and it's kind of that would be very helpful to them. Or in a voiceover job, it's like people saying like, "Oh, I switched to the English dub for your character. It's so
Right,
great. Like
yeah.
I love Brant," or this kind of stuff. That's always very meaningful because it's that reciprocal thing of being an actor. And I love acting. I love acting. It's what I feel like I'm good at and what I enjoy doing, telling stories and things. And when it's meaningful for other people, it becomes deeply meaningful for me because it's like things are aligning, right? It's like, why do I like acting? Because I'm straddling that line of like, I'm doing what I know that I'm good at. And also it's challenging enough that it's stimulating and I'm always improving and this kind of stuff. So it feels very meaningful.
Yeah.
And when that is also reflected back to you and the people that receive your work, that like has like a compounding effect, and it's even more meaningful, And so I would say something like that sort of thing is what comes to mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever see any like memes of any of your characters in any project? Like, do you have a favorite or anything you remember seeing?
Yeah, there's a really funny one. This just tickled me so much. I don't know why, but it was. Do you know the meme of like Scorsese going absolute cinema?
Yeah,
He's like absolute cinema. There's one of Brant like with his arms out, his absolute carnival.
Yeah. And you got one of Cristoforo like getting the jewel at the end of the 2.5 story from Falova and being like, "My job here is done," and she's like, "But you didn't do anything," and he just walks off into the portal. I've also seen one where basically it's Cristoforo like monologuing at Falova, and she's just like, "I don't care," because of that moment where he's telling her his plan.
Yeah, don't
And
care.
she's like, "I don't
That's
care for
a good
your
one.
tastes."
How poetic. How beautifully tragic.
I don't care for your taste, Cristoforo.
I've seen that one.
And then for Brant is this one where he's like, "I'm a healer, but," and then he just like throws the anchor down because it's
Climax of the show. Like,
I
no,
think
that's good.
people are so creative. So, okay, to round this up, you've told us that you have plans to live stream. You may have already done it by the time this is out, but where do you think people will be able to find you? Do you already have like a Twitch account or a YouTube channel or something that people could follow?
Yes. So if you follow my Instagram, which is at Hyoie, and you follow my Twitter, which is at Hyoie, Hyoie, and unfortunately my Twitch used to be at Hyoie, but I lost the password. Like I can't retrieve it somehow. So it's now Mr. Hyoie, Mr.
Mr.
Hyoie.
Hyoie. Okay,
Mr.
so
Hyoie.
Mr. Hyoie on Twitch and just at Hyoie everywhere
Yes.
else. Hyoie, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for being lovely to talk to and for going on a fun and experimental theory journey with me. It was an absolute honor to have you here on Voiced By, and I hope we get to see you as Cristoforo for many, many seasons of Wuthering Waves to come, and hopefully some other characters in other games when we can. Well, we know Rock Beasts are coming. We'll check that out. But any other projects that you can't disclose yet, we will keep an eye out for as well. And finally, I just want to say thank you everyone for watching. If you have any questions or comments or anything for Hyoie, you can put it in the comment section, and maybe he will see them. And if not, I will pass the best of it onto him. And if you have any requests for other voice actors you'd like to have on the show, as always, let me know and I'll do what I can. But Hyoie, thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy that we were finally able to get you on here to give the fans more Brant and Cristoforo and everything in between. You have been an absolute delight. So thank you so much. Have a lovely rest of your day.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It's been lots of fun. Right. Thanks, guys. Bye.